Some big recruiting news today. Our partners at 24/7 Sports are crowning the Texas Longhorns the king of the recruiting class for 2025 because five-star defensive lineman Justice Terry committing to the Texas Longhorns. What a win for the Horns. 24/7 Sports ranks Terry as the #2 defensive line prospect in the class of 2025 and the #9 overall. That is enough to make Texas the top recruiting class in the country for this cycle. Let's bring on Tom Loy from 24/7 Sports to talk through this massive win for Texas. First, let's talk kind of big picture and what this means for the Longhorns, Tom. It's the 17th straight season that an SEC school is ranked at the top, but the first for Texas. What does this mean for Steve Sarkisian?
It means that they are ready to compete and they are not messing around. Sam Ellinger said it a while back that they are back, and I think they are officially back. It just took a little longer than he expected. But when you add Justice Terry to a group that includes five-star safety Jonah Williams and five-star wide receiver Khalil Lockett, five-star wide receiver athlete, do-it-all kind of guy in Michael Terry III. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is an incredible group headed to Austin. Obviously, we already know that the team itself in Austin is loaded right now, and the future is going to get brighter and brighter. When you have to go halfway down the recruiting list, the commit list, to get to guys like receiver Jamie French and cornerback Grayson Littleton, they're clearly doing things the right way. And again, Hank South, Jordan Scruggs, those guys do a great job over at Horns 24/7. We all agree this class is phenomenal. It's loaded. And I really think they're just scratching the surface to how good they're truly going to be in the next couple of years.
Yeah, Texas getting a big win on National Signing Day on Wednesday. As a reminder, though, this is National Signing Week, so there is still time, of course, for Justice Terry to make his decision. But, Tom, what are you hearing as far as why he waited until today? We love the dramatics, but what went into this decision?
I really think this was a close battle, and talking to people at really all four of his finalists, when you include Auburn and Alabama and Texas and Georgia, when you really nail this one down, Georgia was probably the most confident, most optimistic. They were recruiting this kid since he was in 8th grade. Now, mind you, he was an absolute monster as an 8th grader, so it's clear you know why. And then when you look at Auburn, Kenyatta Watson is somebody that was doing a lot of great work for Auburn behind the scenes. This is a guy, before he even got to Auburn, he had a relationship with Justice Terry, so they go way back. So Auburn, when it came to NIL, when it came to relationships, they were doing all the right things. Kirby Smart, obviously, he's got a track record of producing elite defensive prospects, especially on the defensive line. I wouldn't have given Alabama a lot of confidence. They were really like fingers crossed, hopeful. But then when you talk to people at Texas, they were like, we feel like we're in a really good spot. We're not being talked enough about. Chris Gilbert, who's like the special assistant to the head coach, he was all over it. Coach Kiewikowski, the defensive coordinator, he was all over Justice Terry. So they were kind of lurking in the back there. And in the end, it's clear that they were in a better spot than most expected. Everybody had it as Georgia versus Alabama, or Georgia versus Auburn. But Texas, we called them a dark horse yesterday, and obviously it came to light today.
Yeah, you nailed it. You said do not rule out the Longhorns here, and they are the ones who end up winning the services of Justice Terry. It's very easy, Tom, to just go on to 247sports.com and see, okay, he's a top 10 player. He's the #2 defensive lineman. But what kind of player is Texas getting here? The Longhorns want to know if they're going to see this guy soon.
Oh, they're going to see him soon. He's going to be counted on immediately in Austin. He is a big, massive tank of a human being, but he's also quicker than most as well. He is, in my opinion, and I don't want to go out of my lane of director of scouting, Andrew Ivins, Cooper Tagnon, those guys, but he's a guy who's an immediate impact difference maker, day one contributor. Again, he has it all. Massive strength. He's a bull, phenomenal kid off of it. He's the kind of kid you love to deal with. So he's going to be a great ambassador for the program, but he's a guy that when you look ahead and you want to talk down the road as those potential first-round picks, top 10, maybe #1 overall kind of guy for the NFL draft in a couple years, Justice Terry is the guy you're looking at. So Texas fans should be absolutely fired up about him.
I think they're pretty fired up this week. It's been a good week for the Texas Longhorns, who finished the 2025 cycle as the #1 class. Tom Loy, thank you so much for your great analysis. You heard him say he wants to stay in his lane when it comes to that scouting. Well, you can check out all of our scouting team's work on 247sports.com. That's where you'll find wall-to-wall team coverage, those lovely recruiting rankings we love to debate, and some transfer portal updates. Speaking of the transfer portal, 247 Sports is bringing bringing you all the coverage of the transfer portal opening on Monday with their Transfer Portal Palooza show. It starts at noon Eastern, and you can watch live on X.